My name is David, and this is my story. A story about trust, betrayal, and the day I discovered that the woman I loved was living a life I knew nothing about. We all have blind spots in relationships. We overlook little inconsistencies because we trust the person we're with. But sometimes those little inconsistencies are cracks in a much bigger lie. This is the story of how I uncovered the truth, and how her double life shattered everything I thought I knew. Emma and I had been together for 5 years. From the outside, we were the picture-perfect couple. She was beautiful, kind, and had a way of lighting up any room she walked into. But it wasn't just her charm that drew me in. It was the way she made me feel safe, seen, loved. Looking back now, I realize how blind I was. The little things that didn't add up, the sudden weekend plans, the vague explanations about her job, the friends I never met. I ignored them because I trusted her. But trust has a way of making you blind to the truth. It all started with a random delivery. One afternoon, a package arrived at our apartment addressed to Emma. I didn't think much of it until I noticed the sender's name. It wasn't a company or a store. It was a man's name, Alex. When Emma got home, I handed her the package and casually asked, "Who's Alex?" Her reaction was off. She smiled too quickly, shrugged, and said, "Oh, he's just a colleague, probably something work-related." But she didn't open the package. Instead, she set it aside and changed the subject. That night, as she slept, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Who was Alex, and why did she seem so uncomfortable? A week later, Emma told me she was going on a work trip. She packed her bag, kissed me goodbye, and promised to call when she landed. But something didn't sit right. So I did something I'd never done before. I looked at the package from Alex. It was still unopened, tucked away in the back of her closet. I hesitated, but my curiosity won. I opened it. Inside was a small photo album, filled with pictures of Emma and Alex, smiling, laughing, holding hands. Some photos were at places I recognized, restaurants she said she had gone to with friends. Others were at places I'd never seen before. My hands were shaking. My mind raced with questions. How long had this been going on? Who was Emma, really? I couldn't stop there. I needed to know the full truth. So, I searched through the drawers in her desk. That's when I found it. A second phone. It was hidden beneath a stack of papers, but when I turned it on, the truth hit me like a freight train. Messages, calls, photos, all from Alex. They weren't just co-workers. They were in love, or at least he thought they were. But what shocked me the most was this. Alex didn't know about me. To him, Emma was single. She wasn't living a double life. She was living 2 separate lives, with 2 separate people, and neither of us knew about the other. When Emma returned from her work trip, I was waiting for her. The photo album and the second phone were on the table. Her face went pale the moment she saw them. "David," she started, "I can explain," but I didn't want her explanations. "How long?" I asked. My voice was steady, but inside, I was crumbling. "How long have you been lying to me?" She didn't answer. The silence was louder than any excuse she could have made. That night, I packed a bag and left. I couldn't stay in a place filled with her lies. Betrayal isn't just about losing someone you love. It's about losing the version of your life you thought was real. Emma's double life shattered mine. But I've learned that the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than a lie. This was my story. And maybe it's yours too.